Nuggets for just $9.95 every day.
Touch Bryce's knee.
Banger.
Oh, what a banger.
That's this touch. It's not a hold. I lingered. I'm sorry, Bryce.
Off my bloody knee.
Freak.
That was a good sit.
A good sit?
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
more entertaining, watching the game or watching me?
So here's something about Jake. When Jake gets nervous about something, and he didn't realize, he sits there and he does this. And he just sits up really straight, really straight, and he just rubs his knee
That
and
one.
just make it tense.
It's actually not even just my pants. It's just my pants and my nicest texture because I just found myself rubbing.
Yeah,
it.
right.
Do you know
Nick's telling the world your secrets and it's kicking in. Like,
Yeah, you're like, oh god.
Because Jasper also has a touching, tactile,
Yeah.
like
fun,
weird
like
thing.
sun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, that was a fun game to watch.
Yeah, it was interesting, right? Like,
Tell me about it.
I
It
mean,
was
it was whack. No, yes, like I was saying, like as we walked into this room, Baron is just not good for the OPL today. There's been some.
Hey, there was a lot of
interesting-
Barons in that
Yeah,
game.
right, no,
that
but
was a
that-
Baron slaying
But
game.
it's like, yes, like AV, like 50-50, and then this game, it's like Order just do Baron, and like Wilder's over the wall, just like, hey guys, what's up? It's fine. And then like they didn't water, gets taken, then he steals the next one, and it's like super close. And that game was kind of like weird in a sense that like I feel like multiple players of Bombers actually were playing incredibly well. Ryoma is like the
He's a
first
freak.
option. It's just like he is out and out looking like the best mid laner in the
terrifying.
league, and it's just like absolutely popping off
Yep.
on Akali. But then I think like an underrated one was like their ability to use Ashe, Luch, actually looked pretty good in that game. A lot of the good fights for Bombers were coming off the back end of just throwing out arrows. Like they're fishing for opportunities, which is what you have to do with Ashe. But then it just came down to like triple IE, triple rapid fire, AD carries because Corki does the magic damage shred, so it's not like auto
4
scale
Mountain
off there.
Dragons.
Yeah, and then like you just get this super long, randomly close game that you didn't expect it to be that close given how things were playing out. Like Tommy is popping off, and then there's like an 1,000 gold lead. It was wild.
Yeah, but what I will say is a couple of things from Orders draft that I liked was back to the Urgot. Even though it had a terrible game, Spooks has really been struggling on tempo junglers this season. I think that's a very fair thing to say. He's normally the tank player that comes out. Urgot matches early clear, like really, really well. And Order's early game, like up until about the first 9 minutes, should have been enough to win that game. When you've got like the ability that they had, they attacked top lane really, really well. I actually was gone and I missed how Tally died. But if Tally doesn't die in that early game, like Order were out to 3,500, 4,000 gold lead at like one point in that game.
Yeah.
When you're playing AD Cannon and an assassin mid laner, unless you're like insane Tommy level like assassin player, 4,000 gold against like non-team fight comp when you're playing the team fight comp should be enough to close it out.
It's
But
very difficult.
yeah, and this is why I think, and I've said it from the start, like you could have quoted me on it. Bombers, by the end of the season, they've still got a couple of weeks, like will legitimately be a team that can win the OPL. Because just
Absolutely.
individually, and I hate when people say, oh, down the line, this team is better than this team, and therefore they're going to win, because teamwork and the intangibles and all that stuff come in. But literally, if they had been able to ban Xayah, which every team does against Order, and Ryoma plays that way, that's probably a Bombers victory. And that is with, like, I think Order actually playing better than they have in the previous week. So that's just a testament to how good this Bombers lineup is becoming. And this is Luch on 80k for 6 weeks in one game. It's pretty scary.
And it's also interesting, like in terms of the standings, right? Because this, I mean, arguably a much more important game for Order,
absolutely.
right? Like getting a victory over like someone incredibly much higher on the standings is super important.
That's
When the
3-0
bottom,
against Bombers, by the way, for the season. Just
yeah,
saying.
head-to-head wise, because you guys don't have the head-to-head versus Direwolves, but you do have the head-to-head versus AV. Given their loss and Direwolves win today, it's like you're 1 point behind, but I don't think anyone expected them to win versus Bombers. And then like Zach mentioned it at the end of the cast, like yes, Bombers are trying to catch the Mammoth, trying to catch the Chiefs, but ultimately like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't
Doesn't
think...
matter.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, they're still going to make Gauntlet. You're talking about like a seeding level, whereas this was for Order looking like if you lose this game, then it's like you have to beat Mammoth and Chiefs in the following weeks, and then to even have like a crack at head-to-head versus anyone. So yeah, it was definitely like a good victory for them.
Do you remember Split 2 of, I think, 2017 when you guys actually were rolling into the gauntlet and it was like Direwolves, then Legacy, but you guys were like 4th or 3rd or something. But you'd built up that much steam that it was like you just didn't want to play Chiefs during the gauntlet. You might have even been 4th.
I mean, well, I wouldn't know because I was Chiefs. Like,
yeah,
you're like, oh,
I mean, yeah, but sure. But like, what my overall point is like, Bombers are starting to get that feeling about them. Stuff the top of the ladder. That is going to happen. And Direwolves ended up winning that split, and they played incredibly well in that best of 5. But Swiper ended up popping off, and there were individual superstar moments from people of Bryce's Chiefs back then, and that's what it feels like this Bombers lineup is. It's like if they show up on the day together, they will get over the teamwork of what someone like a Mammoth have, because Mammoth are a team, but there are just flashes of individuals on this lineup, like when Wilder pops off or when Ryoma pops off, where you're like, if they pop off simultaneously, which they didn't necessarily this game, then it's going to be very hard for the best teams in the OPL to keep pace with the Bombers.
Because if you go down that line even further, right, when you start comparing top of the tables, and the one point you look at for Bombers is you hear Tommy on this couch sitting there we just want to play topside, that's fine. Yeah. But then Luch and Rogue are having very good games, right? It's the Ash, Rogue actually is a long-time Tom Kench player, was saving people at a clutch moments. There was multiple flush devours, and it's can the bottom lane stack up versus King Destiny versus Raze Ayla, the top team's bottom lanes? And at the start of the season, you say absolutely not. It's just no way. But towards the end of the season, it has genuinely been ramping, and yeah.
There you go. Well, congratulations to Order. Bombers, like we said, still in it very much to win it. And so are Order. So well done, everybody involved. All right. Now, this segment, I wanted to do with a pro player or two. Because I thought this would be a good way to get to know some pros that we don't normally see too much. And when they come on the couch, they're often just talking about, here's how I played in that game, and here's what I think moving forward, and here's why it's pronounced Evangelion as opposed to Evangelion. And I just want, I feel like we should get to know them better. This was kiboshed by the suits upstairs because they were worried about what I would say to them. So instead, I'm going to inflict it on you two.
So you're just going to dry run it, is what we're saying. This is a rehearsal.
This is a proof of concept.
If it goes well, then we'll do it with a pro player.
And if it doesn't go
well,
well,
you know what, Matt?
well.
I don't care what you're saying in my ear right now. You can't stop me.
You can't stop me. So this
we'll do it at MEO. That's what we should do.
This is what we should do at MEO.
Right after you eat the couch that's suspended from the ceiling.
yeah, we'll do this.
We're doing this.
In between the sculpting and the couch eating. This is the LPL. This is looking for PHOR love. AKA Speed Data Pro. And the idea was to sit a couple of pro players down and ask them traditional speed dating questions just to get to know them.
You got the next best thing. You got a retired pro and someone that can't play the game at all.
Exactly.
What a sorry, not the question I was asking. What are speed dating questions?
Well, you're about to find out.
Yeah,
I'm going to ask you both.
Who goes first, me or Bryce?
Okay, see, already the competitive part.
Yeah, this is going to be we're going to min-max speed dating right now. Let's go.
Exactly.
Get the spreadsheet open.
And baby, if you're watching, don't read anything into this. I just need a backup plan. Okay, so first question. Excellent. Jake, what was the first thing you noticed about me?
Ooh, two things. Magnificent beard.
Thank you.
And beautiful eyes.
Thank you.
Beautiful eyes.
Thank you very much. That's true. Jake. No, sorry,
Jake.
Bryce, the other one.
No,
I'm already showing my preference.
It was like this is going to be really nice. There was an alpha air. You're an alpha because what happened was the first time we met, I was like, oh, Nick, hey, because I'd heard his name before. I was told we were meeting, and he's like, what, Nick? And shook my hand. I was like, no, my name's not Nick. And you didn't just go oh shit, what, huh, what? It was a funny moment, and you just
I owned it.
Yeah, you owned it, and I was
nice.
like, damn, nice.
I really liked when I met you because I was like, this guy's name's Nick, and then it didn't turn out like that. So, Jake, what is the one thing you love about yourself? Oh God.
This is a really hard speed dating question. I think that I actually really like my sense of humor, which is so strange because no one else does.
Yeah, but most people who have that kind of sense of humor, that's how they feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I think you're funny. I mean, in the short time that we've known each other here on the couch. Bryce, is it?
Nick? I can have just a real good time. Like, this sounds depressing, though, like, by myself. Like, I'm not reliant on other people. So, one of my old housemates
Wait,
told me...
He's trying to date someone.
I know. You know, I'm
No,
looking
no.
to be a partner in life with you.
No, but I don't have that extra baggage where, like, I'm gonna be like...
You're not
I'm
a puppy
I'm
that
the
follows
weight
someone.
on your shoulders that
Yeah.
you're gonna have to lug me around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of my old housemates was like, I can just sit, like, in my room, like, playing, doing whatever, and I'm literally just cackling. Like, I just have a good-ass time.
That's true. That's true. You're very comfortable. Just like you don't put a lot of pressure on a situation.
Yeah.
Like, you're happy. You can just roll with the punches.
I like that about Bryce because sometimes I struggle to make conversation without getting into arguments. And when that argument brews, Bryce just doesn't engage. It just like does his solo thing, and then it makes me calm down.
Is this one of your weird jokes? I can't tell.
No, this is actually a serious
Okay,
thing.
good.
That's why we have actually, I think, a very good one-on-one dynamic.
That's true. That's true.
He disengages. Simon, on the other hand, he fights back.
If you could meet anyone in history, who would it be?
Go with him first.
I don't know. I have no clue.
So history is something that was around before YouTube.
Ah,
Yeah.
wow.
Jake and
I don't know
Bake.
anything other than YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I don't have an answer. I don't know. Anyone from history?
I guess what I'm feeling right now is that you don't have a lot of like depth.
I would want to meet Darius the Great.
Who?
Darius the Great. He was an emperor in Persia, but the whole thing about it was like he wasn't.
Bryce's face is just immediately like. Vump.
Hey, I need to learn to speak Persian. But yeah, so pretty much like before the Greeks invaded and stuff like that's why Alexander the Great called Alexander the Great, by the way, because there was a guy before him called Darius the Great.
Yep.
Anyway, long story short, apparently he wasn't part of the royal family and he like assassinated his way in.
Oh.
So I want to figure out how you do that over the entirety of medieval Middle East.
Okay.
Like, that seems like a cool guy to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
a little worried about what that says about you. Like, in terms
I just want to figure out how to do it.
Okay, cool. All right, fine. Bryce is winning. And finally, because I think we only have time for one more question.
Oh.
What is one thing about yourself that you'd like me to know?
I have a girlfriend of 12 years and a son. So as long as you're cool with that, we could work.
Can I tell you something?
What?
That's not a deal breaker. Bryce.
I don't know. That's a really hard one.
Yeah.
What don't you know about? I'm not. Well, actually, no. I'm simultaneously like fairly open and also an incredibly private person.
So I very
Yeah.
like.
which is like how can you be both of those things?
No,
That's
it's
how
just
I am.
very specific categories for
Yeah.
you.
You let people in very niche ways. Then the rest of it's like that dark pool.
I'm a closed book.
I'm drawn to opening that book up, though. Let me tell you. All right. Well, I feel like I've learned a little something about both of you. Do I need to pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a competition.
I made the obvious choice. I pick Rusty. All right. On to the final game of the day. and
Always
hope-
Final
wants what he can't
banger.
have.
Final banger.
This is a good one.
I hope it lives up.
Are you surprised by the roster?
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Who's playing?
Swiper Claire.
Yes.
Swiper and Claire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay. Well, I just think Swiper's had a mega roughie. I think like Tian popped off in the Ribbon game.
Yeah.
Swiper before that, like the weekend before, was like first game got boomed. Second game, oh, we're switching the roster. Like like Tian's gonna come back in.
And not only did Tien come in, he came in and gave himself a nickname.
The Red Demon.
The Red
The
Demon.
Red Demon. But then even then, like Topun is starting here for Mammoth as well. It's not going to be Fudge. So I think it's an interesting one.
So Chiefs on blue or red?
Yeah, they are on Mammoth versus Chiefs.
Okay, so now I'm really surprised because
red.
my theory was that they were blue side.
Blue
and
side
that's why you
DOS.
play DOS. Because I have a theory that's why Mammoth play Topun because he is a very good blind picker and will do what the team needs. And I know Fudge really likes his counter pick. So I thought that was kind of a similar thing. That tells me that Big DOS has some cheeky counters because he plays the bizarre counters. Like he's got a Kled matchup that he can trap
Before
here,
Kled is
or a
good, yeah.
Malphite matchup he can trap, or an Ornn matchup he can trap, or a Rumble or something like that. So like he can actually do something here on red side.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a theory.
Malphite.
You do have a theory.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this. All right, well, the final game for the day, the final potential banger for the day, it is Mammoth versus Chiefs. Let's throw into the Macca's Champ Select.
Flawless as ever. Thank you. Yeah, I mean Mammoth versus Chief, right? Like top of the table clash. Should be a good. Why are you giving me that look?
No,
what does that
it was,
mean?
It was Nick. It was just funny. I can't stop.
That's true. When you
thinking
look past
about it.
me, it's just Nick.
He chose me. It just resonates. Okay. Before we go into this game as well, I'll just quickly. My first introduction of Nick, I think, was at Riff Rivals, and my first thoughts were he's homeless and very tall. Because we were there on rehearsal day, and everyone looks both of those things. So,
Everybody looks. Oh yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
well, I was laying down.
First time I came to Australia, I was literally on the floor when I met the producer. I hadn't slept in 40 hours, and I was like, "Hello."
That's what happens.
It's like it was a random Asian on my floor. And they're like, yeah, I'm your new caster. Let's get into the game. Mammoth versus Chiefs. 11-3, 12-2. Have not lost a lot of games between the two teams here. Sejuani, Azir, Yumi, and Karma. Very, very just stock standard bands coming out here.
Yeah, 6 bans available in this game, and it is 11-3 versus 12-2 in the standings, first versus second, and it's a very big deal for the Chiefs and for Swiper. And if you follow Swiper on social media, you'll find that he is angry. He is very angry at the moment. He's not the angriest person I've met, but when he loses, he gets pissed off. And Swiper's one of those few people that you don't want angry, because it means that he will pull out some craziness. He'll play very seriously. He comes in with a plan, and that's what we look towards seeing here for the side of Chiefs on a red side as well, giving the potential counter pick. We'll see where they go.
Yeah, I've heard never in the game there, Swiper. You know,
No.
like he'll never tell his like teammates. He'll just be like, "This is what we're doing."
He's the Armored Titan for a reason. He only gets angry internally.
Yeah, so last pick of, or last ban rather, of Braum and Silasauce coming out here and looking towards a, well, just straight locked in. Corki here from Mammoth.
Corki's one of those champions, man. You're just starting to see so much of it running around on Summoner's Rift. First pick can be flexed between 2 lanes as well, so honestly not a massive surprise where the Chiefs on the other side have, they've clearly been watching their LCK. That's all you can really say about that one. They've gone for the blind pick Nautilus and Karthus as their 1-2.
Yeah, you look at that and like, what region am I in? But yeah, here we are. First pick, Karthus.
The Nautilus to me is more curious. You know,
Mid lane.
when you say, yeah, what region are we in? I mean, that's true with the Karthus. The Nautilus being blinded just out and out like this, when there are other options available, to me shows that they have a very clear plan. One of those is, you know, they've banned the Yumi, they've banned the Karma, they've left Lux available if you really want to risk it, you can. But they would suspect that by going for the Nautilus, Tahm Kench should be the pick. And I think that does actually, I would say, cause a lot of the engaged threat from the side of Mammoth. But Zaira Khan was also still an option for them that they chose not to go to. Which to me is more curious than anything else, given that they were against the Karthus.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of just look at Raze and Ada at this point, and I'm just like, I just look at them as like Ezreal Lux, you know? And like I just expect that to be the bottom lane, but you know, it won't be in this case.
The thing with that, right, is like going Zaira Khan into the Nautilus and Raze having a counter in that lane makes it hard. So they'll choose not to do that, of course. They'll go towards the Ezreal Tahm Kench. Can't go wrong with an Ez Tahm Kench. We're still very strong at level 1, even if it's, you know, not Zaira Khan level 6. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and got another Kiana coming up. Could be top lane or mid lane right here. Banning away the Vladimir against Triple. Definitely a smart one. And it's going to be a Kled ban, obviously, at Swiper. It's been bringing out a couple times recently.
Certainly is. I think we have to look through these bans at what will be picked 4-5 from the side of Mammoth. You would expect 80 carry 4 here from the Chiefs. One of the only teams that really does this in the OPL, where they'll prioritize their bottom lane with a later pick in the draft order. They'll ban the Aurelia and the Vladimir as well, taking some picks away from Triple, removing some of that power. Even with the Sejuani ban, the Aurelia has been banned away. So I look at that as like a, what could Aurelia possibly beat in top lane? And I can't think of anything just yet as to what would force that ban. Just a lot of respect, it seems, shown to Mammoth.
Yeah, fair. Blue Toppin still has a 100% win rate when he's on the team. And yeah, okay, Kennen will be picked up.
Okay, so they're not going to go for the 80 carry. Or are they? No, they're not going to go for the 80 carry. However, it is
This is Season 3 Reckless. like,
well, Raze
hello.
would play it. Of all people in the OPL, in off-rolls, Gunkrab, Raze, probably, you know, 2 of the most likely to play the weird stuff. He's been around for a long time. Raze is actually one of the best Karthus players in the OPL. But it should be Swiper's Kennen. That's what we expect to see, as that is what they'll be picking into Mammoth. And it does mean that bottom lane, if they want, just has the complete counter. But they have always had the counter. So maybe that's the lane that they're cooking something up in.
Or maybe it's Nautilus Flex mid, full AP.
Doing B would be proud.
That is what I'm waiting for.
Claire does like doing B. He won't do it. He won't do it. Stop looking at me.
There's always the possibility. I've had a lot of interesting stuff today already. Okay, will be Jace and Zach coming in. Second Zach of today, in fact. Guts was the first. And now looking towards his final pick from the Chiefs.
Where there is Sejuani in the meta, there always trends to be Zachs around, though the ultimate has obviously changed with Zach. He's still starting to crop up once more. Just a big nuisance. Just so hard to play mid lane into, you know? But this time around, I would say the Chiefs are very well equipped to deal with that in the middle lane if they would like.
Yeah.
But I really... Yeah, no, that should be Lucian AD, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so lots of mobility
AD.
around the board. I actually think that they're pretty well equipped to deal with the Zach, except for the jungle, who just wants to try and hard farm.
Yeah, and disappear and
Not be spotted by him.
Exactly. So most people are going to be able to dodge away from the Zach, and one will be playing hide and seek. And the rest of Mammoth, well, we had the Ezreal and Tamkens locked in very early, but Jace comes into the mid lane. So we're going to be seeing a top lane Jace right here, and it will be Corki into the top side into Kennen. Seeing this matchup just a whole lot recently is just like, yeah, mid-range auto attackers just in the top lane, farming.
And I know that it's most likely going to be a press the attack AD Kennen. That's basically the only Kennens that we've seen running around on Summoner's Rift. I do wonder if that's the route that will go, and we can get into some details as we're onto the Rift, but one of the TLDRs is AD Kennen uses the Lightning Rush to get attack speed. That's probably your disengage tool for a Zach. So using that to get attack speed to trade means that you're actually surprisingly vulnerable as to the Zach ganks go on the top side of the map. So may well be a place that we start to see some focus as Topoon taking that top lane Corki and Triple having one of his stronger picks as well in the Jace.
Yeah, and as we get into game, we've got Fantix with us here today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
All right, talk to us about what the Chiefs were looking at here, because from your angle, obviously we saw very early Karthus and Nautilus, and we were talking about how it looks kind of like another region, not necessarily O's. So what's your take?
Yeah, we knew they'd do a comp like this. We actually thought maybe they'd just do the usual where they just pick Nautilus solution earlier, but they actually opted into picking the Karthus earlier, which was a bit of a surprise. But I mean, we knew they were going to play it if they could, so we're still prepared to verse this. It's just the pick Karthus, be the solo AP of the double AD laners. It's a pretty good comp, just snowballing.
Yeah, certainly, and of course with the inclusion of Jace and Talia now coming back into it, have you found that it's a lot easier for you guys playing? So I'll preface this. My opinion is that red side's actually very strong right now in draft. Do you think that bringing something like the Jace back actually helps a lot with you guys on the blue side in a game like this?
Yeah, for sure. Jace is one of those picks where it's just you could just pick it, and if the player's competent enough, they'll just guarantee you prior. So yeah, it's definitely helped a lot since I actually think because the Jace and Talia were both banned that week, there was just so many hard scaling comps just we saw globally that it was just unnaturally scaly, and ever since they came back, I think it's weathered that a bit.
Absolutely. Do you think that was one of the biggest reasons for that? Because it did genuinely feel like the game slowed down so much, and even through some of the drafts that we're seeing, globally, still with the Jace available, it does still feel like there's a lot more slowing down of the game pace.
Yeah, it definitely would have been one of the factors. Of course, we still see, some regions like LPL, they're still trying to play the really aggressive stuff like Nautilus every game. And sometimes even play stuff like Alistar. But then, of course, LCK is just so slow. So, yeah. But this week, of course, there was a lot more refreshing. You saw a lot more new comps. It wasn't just Corki every game.
And taking a step back, what are your guys' goals, and what are you looking towards as a team, right? Because I feel like every interview coming in is just oh, you're trying to gun for 5th, trying to get into playoffs. And I mean, the Mammoth story has been literally the polar opposite. It's been top of the table, completely different, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, of course our goal is to come first. It was last split as well. Obviously, that ended up terrible for us, but yeah, no, the goal hasn't changed at all. We're just a lot more motivated based on last split's result. So yeah, same goal.
I'm feeling confident into the Chiefs. Obviously, one of the big competitors for you.
I mean, confident but humble, because we do see them as the top contender right now, other than us. Yeah, their style is kind of the polar opposite of us. They want to go all in on aggro, so it's just about who plays to their conditions better.
And what about in this game then? What is the one thing that you guys want to do as Mammoth to get the advantages to be able to win this one?
I'll just say not give them an inch to snowball off of, then we should be completely good. Our comp will just come online, and we'll like
just be
the sum of
stable.
our parts is just stronger in this game. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, we'll see if it pans out. Thank you very much for joining us, and best of luck.
Thank you very much.
And a team like the Chiefs, it's a very good point that Fentix raises as well on, being stable, preventing your opponents from getting any leads. It's so hard to do against the Chiefs because they're very aggressive when they take their moments. Very good with their setup, and this is risky.
Oof. Goes for the dive once again. Tower shot is onto Ayla, but it had the reset on
Claire's
the damage
coming.
ramp. And they get that first kill, moving towards Destiny now, deciding whether he should move away from the tower, but there's no good choice because it's a double kill for Raze.
It's just like that, right? You speak about the setup. They were playing a bot-side focused game. They've got Lucian Nautilus. There's nowhere else they'd want to go, but they build a big wave. They bring their jungle Karthus down as well of all times, and Zack's on the exact opposite side of the rift at the enemy red buff. No one's here to defend them, to save the Ezreal and the Tahm Kench, so they just die. They lose 2 turret plates as well. Look at the amount of minions that have just been lost. It is double the CSD already for Raze with 2 kills. This is such a disastrous start for the 2v2 of Mammoth.
I mean, it's nothing short of cataclysmic, right? Like, you see this in solo queue and your bottom lane's raging. In 2 kills on the AD carry, pulls double CS. First back, I'm just going to pick up a BF Sword Boots and a Control Ward at 4 minutes. Yeah, no problem.
And you wouldn't often say that Karthus is one of those champions that looks for these very early aggressive ganks, but always can, right? Like, Karthus hitting isolated Q damage is absurd from level 1 if you're able to hit those spells. So, great decision for them to dive, but really, for me, the most impressive thing is how expertly they navigate the turret aggro to not trade back themselves. With how long they were sitting there tanking the enemy team, both of the duo and the turret. Like, that was nuts.
Yeah, I mean, Ayla tanking 3 tower shots at level 2 is crazy, right? Like, and that literally comes down to tanking 2, backing away, waiting for a reset, going back in again, so the ramp isn't there, and then, yeah, managed to survive that one.
SPF sword and boots to a mana crystal and a fairy charm.
It's a sad sight.
It's just, the Ezreal needs to push the wave, then reset for a tier. Like, that's how bad it is down there.
But he did manage to get a ward from Klepto, so he's got something.
He's got a green boy.
Man, I remember when wards looked like that. What a time.
Green and pink boys.
Ooh, Babip caught in the enemy jungle, gets the smite down. Recovers a bit of HP, but he's still going to take some damage from the edge there, out from Claire.
Meanwhile, down in bot lane, Raze has killed Destiny. He's now on a killing spree.
He's now on 3-0-0. Yeah, I mean, really just goes back to the identity of these two teams, right? Talking about Chiefs being a very aggro, very aggressive team. You know, don't give them an inch, is what Fansix was said, and I do believe this is more than an inch now.
Yeah. I would really like at this moment just to be able to switch over to the gold difference between bottom laners and just observe that, because it is a lot right now. And you know, normally when you hit a, say, 15-minute mark in a game, you're like, damn, 3,000 gold between these laners, that's huge. But at 6 minutes, to have a lead that's significant down in bottom lane and another plate about to fall, like, that is almost unreasonably large. And King and Destiny, it's going to require all of their skill as players, and they are very skilled players, to just survive.
Probably just a hook, right? Hook, staggering blow. And yeah, full combo there from Raze.
He flashed as well. That's the worst part there for Destiny. Insult to the injury. Didn't get the shield off. Thought he was alive. Actually, if he flashes there, gets the health regen at the very least.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, unfortunate. And this is another one of those perks with Karthus right here. Noctis comes over and single target damage onto an objective. Quite good. He's like a ranged Kha'Zix. We've got Raze coming in and Claire coming up. And yeah, in a very good position. 7 minutes. First dragon will be a mountain.
Scuttle, let him isolate. Stop it.
Yeah, get out of here.
You're
going to get it.
He also may want to go and grab. There we go. There's enough mana now, and we'll get all of his mana pulled back basically from the Scuttle, probably up to half, and gets him closer to 6 as well as he ticks over.
Actually, really nice there from Nautilus, just using a staggering blow to reduce those resistances on the crab. Karthus does not have CC.
That was such a caster point from you just then. I guarantee all Ayla was thinking is, I'm going to stun it.
I mean, it's just one of those things, you know, it's just a nice small thing. Like,
it is.
You know, now someone's going to take that away, and I've just made somebody's jungle Karthus game better, because their bottom lane or their mid lane stunned the crab.
I have a feeling hundreds of heads have just exploded at the knowledge that Nautilus' staggering blows reduces anything other than stunning someone.
Yeah.
Which is not, like, that's one of those things where like, maybe that's one extra detail that isn't necessary in a kit, but this is the timeline that we live in.
I mean, it's more onto the crab, right? Because crab reduces resistances when CC'd. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I don't know if that's a fact that a lot of people know.
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other camps and whether they have like different things about them, but not really. Like they're all
Gromp's
pretty.
just a very angry boy at the start.
Yeah. Gromp,
That's the
very
only other
tanky
one, really.
and annoying. Will follow you for a very long time. Herald will start opening its eye at around 2,000 HP.
We're in a bit of a lull, so I'm more than happy to indulge this conversation.
Jungle
I
facts.
really think that Raptors are the camp that need to be more exciting.
So they used to be Wraiths. If people didn't play the game back in, you know, like Season 1, Season 2, they used to be a different camp entirely. Same kind of theory, you know. Big Wraith, a lot of small Wraiths.
I would love if like the second Raptor camp had more baby Raptors or something. You know, like it just... There's nothing interesting about that camp to me other than they attack quickly.
Yeah. I mean, like in TFT, they get bigger, right?
Krugs explode.
Krugs explode.
Gromp could be much more angry. It could be like a Womp. You know, so like slams the ground.
Kind of like Mountain Dragon. Oh, we've got another dive into the bottom lane, but Babbitt is actually here on this one, so it's a 3 vs 3 plus tower. Mid lane also rotating.
Ayla
Babbitt
might be in trouble.
throws
Oh,
out
the
the
flash.
E. The flash comes out. Swipe a lot of damage coming in from that ultimate. Destiny's low, but puts up the shield. Karthus ultimate's gonna help. Ayla backing away. He's down as well. Turning on towards Triple. He's also gonna fall. He just turned up from mid lane. 3 kills over to the Chiefs at the expense of just Ayla. And Babbitt needs to get away from this one, Claire.
Oh, he didn't go over the wall.
He didn't, and now Claire's chasing him down. He's already used his Ignite and his ultimate. Does have the flash, though. I think Babbitt is safe, though he's going to take a lot of damage from this. Jumps to the wall, and he will be able to escape.
Just enough health regeneration there from Babbitt to be able to survive, but note that exactly 10 minutes on the clock. Swiper is bot side. The bot lane turret has been broken, and the Chiefs are blowing open this game against Mammoth. This was banger of the week in the making, and they are really just blowing it out of proportions. The Swiper, brilliant flash ultimate to stun everybody in place. King effectively out of the fight as a result of having to flash away. And because he's got Berserker Greaves and Raze is also just far enough ahead for damage, he's just going to sit there and stun them constantly with his attack speed, and the damage is there to follow.
It's just so fast. You know, these plays from the Chiefs, they appear, the play happens, they leave, they take objectives. You know, it's just like, it's so fast when you compare it to like watching other games. And yeah, I mean, like Triple just walked into the bottom lane, just didn't get to play the video game, immediately just stunned out and blasted down. So 6-1 now, the Chiefs. And the beneficiary, 4-0-1 in the bottom lane, Raze. Usually when I talk about him, it's like, oh, look at how many waves he's picking up. Look, he's got 300
Yeah, he was
farm
a
at
farmer
5
last
minutes.
week.
And that was like 2 games in a row where he just didn't see another champion. This time, he's actually just farming the champions for kills so far.
The team came to him this time, I think, is one of the major
Yeah,
differences.
that's fair, actually. He didn't go up to the play, they came to him. Walked into his crosshairs.
There's a chance that Raze was never in a play in this game if they went towards mid lane. He does like
True.
staying in that lane and clearing those minions. He named himself the perfect player once in solo queue, and then there was an iconic moment for me where he tried to make a play as Kennen and then flash Sonya's. Didn't ult. That was in the bush just at the bottom of your screen now.
I do kind of get it though, you know, like playing the game the quote-unquote right way, you could definitely call yourself like the perfect player, you know? Like, but League of Legends is also a game where you can sometimes make the wrong play, but outplay in a situation, and that's where the diversity comes from. But now we've got basically Australia lane and bottom lane, Swiper.
He's
1
looking.
versus 1. Oh, he's popped the ultimate as well. Underneath tower, going to take a tower shot. Topping, turning this one around. But top lane, Shelly has been placed, and Chiefs are going to get themselves even more gold
That
on
was
the AD
solo
carry.
gold to Raze as
Yeah.
well. Only can take some of that if he wanted, but he's grouping over on Babib.
They've found the jungler. Saved here by Destiny. Triple coming in from mid lane as well, but Ayla's
Karthus
following
has
through.
ult.
Hits the depth charge. It's going to be the route down onto Triple once again. He just can't move right now. There's so much CC. Here comes the Karthus ultimate. This could be doubles here. It's going to be 1 blob blitz and one Zhonya's, or rather stopwatch in from Destiny. Claire around the corner. It's a half health Babbitt, but Destiny's still within kill range. Blasted forwards, gets him. And King backing away from this, still kiting around Claire, who's still pushing forwards. He wants this kill and he's separated from the team, unfortunately, until the minions come in. So it was just a suicide run for a kill.
Yeah, flashes for it as well. Still had the ignite up potentially. May have been just just on cooldown now. I can't quite see. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs still get the picks thereafter. They get the top lane out of turret. They walk mid. We're 13 minutes into the game. Have some more plates for the Chiefs. They're going to get every single turret plate on Summoner's Rift before 14 minutes. And this is without a push composition. This is by diving their opponent.
Oh my god, Raze!
What?
Just one combo as the mid lane as he walks to lane. What?
That was nasty. He has an Infinity Edge. That's... What a madman.
I mean, he dies for
He's
it. And
4,000 gold ahead at 14 himself.
you saw him like the mini face palm, but like at the same time, man, you just killed the mid laner from full underneath his own tower as a Lucian at 13 minutes.
Hey, look, the perfect player won't be happy with his own performance.
That's true.
There,
It wasn't a perfect play. It was only a 9 out of 10. All right. 2 full items at 14 minutes.
We're getting to shellacking territory.
We are. I don't think we've come up with a name for doubling someone's total gold in the game yet. We had a case like that last week, but we never named it.
Oh. I have no idea what to call that.
I mean, if it happens, it didn't quite happen last week, but if it happens in this game, we just call it the Raze.
The Raze Horizon.
Yeah, the Raze Horizon. I feel like there's got to be, because that's too associated with Flame Horizon at this point, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be a good second word. We'll think about it. Hey,
Raze Ransom.
Maybe. Raylan.
Destiny's
Stands
caught.
for Q. Razor's here and all the damage in the world. The engage coming out from Babbitt, but he doesn't really have the team behind him right now. And they're taking a bunch of damage, so Razor's just kiting around, turned into an Ice Skater.
Whoa.
A good block coming in from this team, and King will pay for that one. Will be a 2-for-1. And Swiper with a big flank gets another. Topoon stunned down, chasing down on this one, and here comes the Karthus ultimate. We'll pick up one, and Babbitt, by the skin of his teeth, escapes, but definitely with his tail between his legs, because he is the only member remaining to tell the tale.
Yeah, Babbitt may survive, but the rest of his team dies, and Ray's also barely surviving. 7-1, has still got the shutdown gold that wasn't given over. That gives Chiefs all the entryway they need to the Cloud Dragon. And commanding is an understatement at the point of this game. If you show on a wave and you're not under a turret, they'll fight you. If you're under a turret, they may still fight you. I don't think anywhere is safe anymore on Summoner's Rift for Mammoth. And it all starts with a level 3 very early aggression coming out of them. Babbitt honestly plays this pretty well. Gets a lot of crowd control down. There just isn't damage to follow up to get this last kill, and it was still very close from King. He sacrifices himself to try and get that shutdown, however. And so does Triple, going very aggressively forward. Summoner spells save the day here for the Chiefs, and are ultimately the demise of Mammoth.
Karthus so close to 11 as well off of that tier 2 ultimate. And Chiefs have just accelerated this one out of control. Now, this is your daily Raze check-in. 7, 1, and 3. Moving towards his third item, now 2.5.
Daily Raze check-in.
He's just, yeah.
Good morning, this is your check-in with Raze.
We are now a full item over our opponent.
The real question is, do you want to say that like Barbie from Toy Story? Or do you want to be a captain of a
Goodbye
flight?
now.
Bye-bye now.
Wait, that's not quite double, is it? So you would need 11,000.
700.
So he needs 700 gold to double.
Yeah. He can do it.
If he does it, we've got to come up with a name. And it doesn't have to happen now, but we would need to come up with a name for it.
You'd almost want to call it like the Daily Double, but
The daily
it's
double.
only for Raze, right? So it's not really appropriate.
Yeah. There's definitely a pun in there somewhere.
Sure thing.
Yeah. All right,
Kid.
Ezreal. And the thing we're marveling at is the fact you're about to get doubled in gold right now, so...
We don't even have Baron up for 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Chiefs have got control of that area of the map already, so...
You know, if Baron was alive right now, if he just came early to work, then they would probably be on that Baron already.
This the area is currently spotless for Baron to come home, as Triple is quite low.
Yes, he is.
He can't really stay that low, as only exists in his level 11 with ultimate.
Mid lane getting sieged out by a Lucian, who typically isn't the best sieging monster, but when he is 7 kills at
Claire just
17
needs
minutes, he
to
will
tap
step
Triple,
up
and I think he dies.
and he will hit the tower. Yeah, if he takes any damage, it's just Requiem and dead.
Come
4
catch us
members in the
now.
top lane. This is in a turret, by the way, and Chiefs are still accelerating. Pedal to the metal.
Mammoth
wave
are
cleared
still a very good team in delaying games. You know, they are the type of team, and we've said this for weeks now, but, you know, if you don't actually kill the Nexus, they're still in it. Like, they are that class of a team. But Chief's always been their opposition. A swiper.
Ooh, Topoon, he gets the stun down into the chain stun, hops the wall. Oh, the outplay. And Topoon will get the 1 versus 1.
And gets the shutdown as well, so no complaints here for the side of Mammoth. One step in the right direction. It's a baby step, but it is. Even though he'll have to potentially trade his life, he survives.
Yeah, did enough with the Valkyrie, wasn't going to path towards the terrain, and Claire didn't have ultimate anyway, so yeah, we'll just kind of walk it off. Oh, only getting caught.
Has ultimate, right? Or am I insane?
No, he does.
So that whole time, without Hex Trigger available for Topoon, he could have ulted.
I have to assume he's just saving it for a team fight to get maximum value, right?
Just waiting for a mate. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Which is a lot of self-control, I will say, as a Carpus player, because as soon as you see a low-health target, you just smash that R button. You don't even care about any of the context, because that's a kill. But you'd have to assume so. Because, you know, you get into a fight at this stage in the game when you're accelerating so quickly.
Yeah.
Ultimate comes in, that's like 1,500 damage.
Sure, and with Baron up in 40 seconds, it's definitely
It's the
worth
smart
having
play.
it.
Did
even
we
if
want
you-
to see him ult and get that kill? Yes.
Absolutely. How do Mammoth deal with this is going to be the question. When an actual threat comes up on Summoner's Rift that's in the dead center of the map, you know, something that you have to play towards, how will they navigate this? As the Chiefs have already switched up the game, you can see Mammoth's vision right now on your minimap. Not a lot of it. Baron does swipe up.
Ooh. Goes for round 2, but that's a lot of upfront damage out from top. Who gets the stun down and only is here to clean up.
That was a very risky bait coming out of the Armored Titan in the top lane, but it was successful, and it does net them the kill. Only doesn't have to ult for that one. He'll just walk down there, throw some Skittles on the ground, and now that does actually buy a whole lot of time and control, inevitably, for the side of Chiefs at Baron. As King's worried they'd even be 3-manning it.
I mean, they could for sure.
Yeah.
Anyone tanks and raises is going to deal the damage. And also, Koffs exists, so he's just going to solo the Dragon here at 20 minutes. Pick himself up an Ocean Dragon. Smite down, and then you go. And how are we doing in terms of gold? Chiefs is almost 10k ahead. And here's the check-in. Up, falling behind now.
He'll
the
never
Ezreal's
double the
catching
gold.
up. Yeah, maybe past that choke. Well, then again, if he gets a bunch of kills in the next teamfight life, that's the only way. It's not going to happen through farming. It only happens through kills.
He would need 2,000 gold worth, basically, of kills and the minions after the fight. So, package flaws very easily, I will add there from the side of the Chiefs. And that's the, you know, the Chiefs are so dangerous when they have a lead or when they have control over the map in any way. And it was like only the Karthus jungle comes bot lane, very unexpected, right? And Swiper just with a really nice bait nets them the kill. Now it's Claire's turn. Neither of them have teleport to go down to that lane, but they're able to do it because of the control they have vision-wise over the rest of the Rift. And at any moment, if Raze goes down there, which is also very possible, he's a teleport user, they could go for the kill on Corki and just siege instead of doing Baron. Like, these are very good options that they have because their setup before the execution is incredible.
Yeah, we'll calm down just a little, though. Baron on the board. Something that we will be looking towards for sure. Water coming down here. And a lot of pings. Swiper also in the bottom side does have his teleport. Top in the same, so we're sticking around there.
Pit, though. No one from Chiefs has actually checked the pit. There is a blue ward, blue trinket in the pit. Which I will say from the side of Mammoth right now is very handy. It is buying them a whole lot of time. We're still waiting for the Chiefs to check the damn pit. This is brilliant. You know, what did Mammoth want? They wanted time. What has been purchased from that ward? Time. Minutes of it. Because at a certain point, the Chiefs, like now, will be like, well, why is Mammoth just, like, why do they know we're not doing this Baron?
Yeah.
Right? The process of
one blue
elimination
trinket.
gets there eventually.
There are 2 blue trinkets available, though, from Mammoth. As their ultimate comes across, spots it. Mammoth, they're not making aggressive tracks towards the area, though.
They are now. Oh!
Yeah, has to go for that dodge right there. Dresline does not connect, but Triple getting called out by Claire. Stun is down, the Ignite thrown out by Ayla. But he is saved by Destiny, hops the wall, but he's now in Requiem range. Destiny hops the wall.
Oh,
Babbitt
Babbitt.
goes in, but the team is not able to help him right now. He is able to get one onto Only, though. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Topoon getting pushed back from Raze. He just needs to get him past a certain point, then he will get ulted. And that is a 1-for-1. Make that a 2-for-1. Babbitt was dead in the jungle.
That was scarily close to a winning trade there from Mammoth, but at the end of the day, who can deal with Raze, right? He's still alive, he's still got DPS to dish out, and they're able to equalize the trade, turn it into their favor with some really good damage on the skirmish there next to Topoon in the 1v1. But that was sick coming out of Mammoth as a combo. Ezreal throwing spells, Gate Shock Blast from the Jace as Babbitt goes forwards. Always going to be a sacrifice if they don't get the perfect engage off, and they were close. Closer than you would care to admit if you were Chiefs.
And I think the biggest thing from that, it wasn't a blowout fight. And I think that's really what Mammoth were just shooting for in the first place. You know? We can see that again. Triple gets caught out here, rotating to the play, but he doesn't die. This save really coming in from Destiny was huge. Throws him over the wall.
Yeah, the rest of the five follows up here. But watch Triple King going in, following up with a bit of their burst there at the same time, right? So WQ from the Ezreal Gate Shock Blast. And honestly, this is very close to saving Babbitt as well, potentially, if Destiny had the W up.
Yeah.
But during all that time, Raze just chads his way around the rest of the Rift. He's able to get some good damage down at a nice little pick.
Yeah, also, unfortunately, when you're dead and in Bloblets and there happens to be a dead Carthus there with his E running, that's also not great. So yeah, easy cleanup there in the end, fortunately. And Chiefs are right back at it. I mean, they have the control ward over this blue trinket, so there's actually zero chance of Mammoth knowing unless they hit that ward.
Well, the goal difference has hardly shrunk. Baron also now at half HP. They're going to walk through mid lane to get to the Baron, but it's too late. It's well and truly gone, and now it's about the disengage. Do what they can, maybe clear one mid-wave before Baron empowered buff is on the minions themselves. So take the scraps at this point if you're Mammoth.
That's what Chiefs were looking for last time, but this time they get it uncontested. And that feels pretty good. Go back to base, spend a little bit more of that gold if you can. This is your 25-minute check-in with Raze, and here's 4 items.
This is your
4.
Captain Speak.
Here is a Lucian flying past.
High chance of turbulence on the
Rift.
blue side of the Rift.
Yeah, I mean, this is essentially 4 item builds at 25 minutes for Lucian. And he's not even gone for like the cheap build either. This is like big items.
And he's a team player who still has the control wards.
Exactly,
So
that's why I said
even the
full
coach
build,
here
Rusty.
is happy, yeah. That's a support full build though, Pulse.
Yeah, true. Yeah, this is not quite the peak, but we're near it. And,
Still kinda-
Chiefs looking towards this dragon.
Yeah, still kind of waiting for the base to be broken in any meaningful way, however, as they've now got their first real push with the Baron. So you look at the lane assignments. Swiper is by himself in the middle lane with a hover from Ayla, but the real game plan is to take the free turret first, which is the bot lane inner, so that'll be easy. The next step is the harder part where you would expect Triple King, just onslaught of spells just thrown out. There's a Corki package as well. When the 3 of them post up in the same lane, it's very hard to deal with. But Raze has a Bloodthirster, so if they ever give him minions,
Oh, Ayla jumps in. There's a Requiem to start it off. Babbitt goes in for the engage. Raises low, but he just does so much damage. Immediately puts down Babbitt. And now he's just running into the enemy base. Gets hit by the Tongue Lash, but Triple knocks back Claire. He's ticking down. He will die from this out from the bleed. It's a 2-for-1, and the Inhibitor's dead. And Chiefs are actually still pushing forwards and looking for this win.
they have only the cannon alive, so there is no minions to actually tank the turret for them yet. So they're waiting a couple of seconds, and here it comes Raze. One man against the world here, Mammoth. I don't know if they can actually stop it, but they've got to try.
The tower's actually hitting Lucian right now. Topoon just wants to get in range. Triple the same if they can try and take down Raze, but the first Nexus turret's dead, and Chiefs say that's enough. We'll let them live.
And you can see the calm decision-making coming out of the Chiefs. They didn't actually have a wave set up in mid, so there is no value in going back to mid, prepping the wave, finally getting to push the wave by the time your enemies have respawned, because then maybe you just get chip onto the turret. They threaten the end. They see if their opponents will falter at the finish line. And thankfully for the side of Mammoth, they stand strong, they don't die, and they don't actually give the opportunity for Chiefs to end the game. But they do lose a Nexus turret and an inhibitor.
Yeah, was taking a lot. You know, if it feels like the old proverb, was it like the unbreakable shield versus like the unbeatable spear or whatever? I don't remember the name for the spear, but like, you know, one's indestructible and the other one like, You know what I mean. And Chiefs are the Chiefs are the spear, right? And like Mammoth is like the one team that has just been like impenetrable for like teams really to overcome because they'll just slow down the game, and then you're back to equal, and then they win a team fight, and they and then they take the game again. Whereas like Chiefs are just speeding this one out of control, where Mammoth are never able to get to that point.
I mean, you said spear, and all I can think of is I've been reading Matthew Riley books. Very good show you off. And I just thought of Poseidon. I can't get over the
Poseidon doesn't have a spear.
There's a trident. I know. That's where
That's
I'm at.
wrong.
Welcome to my head.
You know what?
So
I'm thinking
I don't
about
know
Pantheon.
what spear.
That's what I was thinking about. That's what brought it on.
Ah, yes.
Or like the Unbreakable spear, something like that.
League of Legends has released a lot of the data skins at the moment.
That is true.
You got your Demacia Vice as well.
You know what you should do for MEO? Pantheon cosplay.
Why should I do a Pantheon cosplay?
It'll be very easy for you. Very easy. Here comes the Siege, opening up with the Requiem. Just sends a message. Gonna be gobbling up King, tanking that damage right there on the Tam Kench. But Chiefs, that's enough for them to open up the inhib and move on to it. Ayla,
the hook's on.
Finds the Jace through all of that. Taking a lot of damage, flashes away. Babip's low, gets a redemption down though, and Tarpooni's poking from the side. But Ayla once again with the hook onto the top laner, forces the flash out.
Oh, they got
And there's
only.
the ultimate. They've taken down the jungler. How far will they push though? Because now there's a Carthus between them and Chiefs, so they will back away. But this is the defense, and this is what Mammoth. This is the MO.
And I'm really feeling this need to go too aggressively forwards from the side of Chiefs. Is it worth hitting that next Nautilus hook? Raze is such a low-range champion on the Lucian as well. You'd think that maybe they could just wait. Maybe they could just let the super minions push into the bot lane and threaten by themselves, but that's not the case. The way that Mammoth are playing on the in the game right now is so aggressive. Like, Triple is just almost in melee range of the Nautilus at a certain point, where he's just like threatening, say, throw the hook, I'll dodge it, I'm a better player. And that really starts to feel like it's forcing Chiefs into playing Mammoth's game. They want to just sit there, bring you to them, and then poke you down on the disengage, chase you while you try and run away and get those picks. And it is, honestly, it is quite difficult for a Karthus and for a Lucian to step up to the opposing team's composition. And I think that's where you have to start putting Swiper back into the side lane and threatening the 1v1 to split up Mammoth a little bit harder. Even go with the super minions, threaten to end the game, I think is a possible strategy that Chiefs could put in here.
All of a sudden, we're back on the point where Mammoth's able to push out their base. Baron spawning in 20 seconds. There's yet another opportunity for Mammoth to potentially come back into this game. And yes, there is an 11,000 gold lead. And Raze is still very big and ahead of the curve, but not as much as he once was.
I feel like given the lead that we had, it's amazing we're at 30 minutes. Just full stop, it's amazing we're at 30 minutes and that Mammoth can hold on as well as they have for so long.
Babip jumps forwards, but doesn't quite get onto Raze. Now he's able to just chase him down. There's the engage out from Ayla. Swiper with the flank. Oh, 5-man ultimate in the Maelstrom. They'll get the first, turn them into bloblets, but the root comes down, and everybody just comes flying down. 2 kills over to the Chiefs. They're going to get their third in a second. And there's the Requiem onto King. Is it enough damage? With the tick it is. And 4 kills on to Mammoth.
And suddenly the game's just going to end right there unless Triple can make a miracle happen. There's no way that he can do that at all. Chiefs, they have just smacked down Mammoth.
There it is. And Chiefs, the unbreakable spear, managed to topple Mammoth in a second because the inhibitors respawned.
Cue the elevator music.
And Chiefs, in 32 minutes, will take the game and defeat Mammoth.
You can see the headsets are off from Swiper. Hugs for the rest of the roster members. Big game coming out of Raze and Ayla. But it was a team effort. You know, think back to the first dive in bot lane. It was only coming down at level 3. Claire also comes down to make sure that the second kill is followed up. And then Swiper teleports the third time. You know, every single member of the Chiefs get involved in this play. That's their win condition. They play to it brilliantly. And that's how scary the Chiefs can be when they want the wins this badly. They are a very dangerous team when angry. And you could tell that they wanted that win against Mammoth and no one was going to stop them.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's definitely been like a slow burnout from Mammoth, you know, just like picking up these wins, like a lot of comeback victories. And yeah, Chiefs just came in so quick and so fast and so hard, you know, and just basically ran them over. There was a second where you just saw the classic Mammoth game come out and you're like, oh no, are we going to be sat here for another 30 minutes while they stall and we're back to even at 60 minutes and it's a team fight? And it was very close to that. It was very, very close. If that middle team fight had not happened there from Chiefs, 100% that was going to happen.
I mean, there were fights that were scarily close with a 10,000 gold deficit from Mammoth, somehow actually getting equal trades or almost equal trades, which when you're that far behind, you take, 100% of the time. But that's where, the class of the Chiefs does come back in. As good as Mammoth were able to play when behind, as well as they're able to hold on to the game, the Chiefs just need that one moment. And weirdly enough, the moment was, hitting a control ward and baiting BABIP to go forwards and then just killing them front to back.
Yeah, and that's enough just to open up the game and come out of the win right there. But yeah, I mean, I think in this game, it was just a perfect representation of what makes both teams strong. And that's what I really enjoyed about, like a top of the table clash.
The
as
sword
you
and the
managed to get
shield.
that. Yeah, exactly. Well, it was fun to watch. And for now, we're going to send it over to Nick Boy with the player interview.
Thank you guys, Rays. Well done.
Thank you.
In the hallway, there was lots of shouting, particularly Swiper. And now in here, resetting. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good about that win. I didn't expect the game to get so chaotic early.
Yep.
I don't know, we got a massive lead early. I'd imagine probably 5k gold.
Yep.
If I was to guess how much we got in 15 minutes, I'd imagine that'd be it. So
It was
it's pretty insane.
It was a huge lead. You're a monster. Do you feel any remorse for the destruction that you just brought?
No, I'm so happy that the game went in the way it did, of course.
It was seriously impressive to watch. And you guys just kind of never actually gave Mammoth much breathing room. Was that the plan, to come in and just overwhelm, or because of the really strong start then?
We knew they'd pick some Mammoth. They don't want to get outscaled ever.
Yep.
We've came to the realization they just always want to be. If the game goes to 40 minutes, they're just going to automatically win.
Yep.
They think they can outscale the early game or outskill the early game and get past these deficits that they always manage to get upon. So of course we wanted to get a lead early and then transition from there, but mid and late we probably got too antsy and it made the game really hard to pull out. It shouldn't have been 30 minutes after the lead we got early, but.
Though, as a viewer, I appreciate that it did go on longer because it did get wild. So that means you've got you and Mammoth now are tied, or there's 1 point between you
We're
guys?
tied.
You're tied now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if that had updated. So do you reckon you can hold it on from here?
Last split after we beat Bombers after we lost to Bombers the second time, or first time, we managed to not lose any games. So I imagine we can do the same again, but we never know. You never know. We lost to Bombers twice already, and they've managed to lose orders. Half of orders wins are from beating Bombers, but we just can't manage to beat Bombers. So
you need some
I
of
don't
that
know.
order.
That's probably going to be our hardest. We're going to prepare the most for that one. So I hope we can do it. Of course.
Jake's yelling at you off camera. All right. Well,
I was
congratulations.
complimenting order.
I know. I don't understand why. Jake's sitting there yelling at the flame, and I'm like, the boy's just trying to be nice. Come on. He comes into our house. Take the compliment.
I love you, Quinn. Thank you.
Well done, man. Congratulations on a huge win. A very exciting game to watch. We'll be back right after this break.
Preventing your opponents from getting any leads. It's so hard to do against the Chiefs because they're very aggressive when they take their moments. Very good with their setup, but this is risky.
Goes for the dive once again. Tower shot is onto Ayla, but it had the reset on the
Claire's
damage
coming.
ramp. They get that first kill, moving towards Destiny now, deciding whether he should move away from the tower, but there's no good choice because it's a double kill for Raze.
He's caught.
Raze is here and all the damage in the world. The engage coming out from BABIP, but he doesn't really have the team behind him right now. And they're taking a bunch of damage, though, and Razor's just kiting around, turned into an Ice Skater. A good block coming in from this team, and King will pay for that one. Will be a 2-for-1. And Swiper with a big flank gets another. Tarpoon stunned down, chasing down on this one, and here comes the Carthage ultimate. We'll pick up one, and BABIP. Yeah, has to go for that dodge right there. Dresline does not connect, but Triple getting called out by Claire. Stun is down, the Ignite thrown out by Ayla. But he is saved by Destiny, hops the wall, but he's now in Requiem range. Destiny hops the wall. Babbitt goes in, but the team is not able to help him right now. He is able to get one onto Only, though. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Tapu getting pushed back from Raze. He just needs to get him past a certain point, then he will get ulted. And that is a 1-for-1, make that a 2-for-1. Babbitt was dead in the jungle. There it is. And Chiefs, the unbreakable spear, managed to topple Mammoth in a second because the inhibitors respawned.
Cue the elevator music.
And Chiefs, in 32 minutes, will take the game and defeat Mammoth.
You gave me this when we were just 16 years old. Darling, got that?
A little goes a long way at Macca's. Grab 24 Chicken McNuggets for just $9.95 every day.
Ooh, what a win.
Your boy.